Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Loop with Jack. Today we're going to be taking a look at Yellow by Coldplay, breaking down the different parts, and I'm going to be teaching you just how to layer it up inside Loopy Pro so that you can make something like this. For drums, I'm using Koala. I've got a kick, snare, and hi-hat, and I'm just playing a beat like this. That drum beat then plays throughout. Let's have a quick look at the guitar tones that we've created. There are 4 separate layers here. So layer 1 is just the little triads, the little chords on top. So to show you what I'm playing there, I'm playing an E major, G sharp minor, and F sharp major. Played as little triads, nice easy little chords. So we've got the first fret on the G string, 2 open strings underneath that. We're coming up and we're barring the 4th fret across the top strings. And then we're going to be playing the 3rd fret on the G string and barring the 2nd fret on the B and E. And we're just going to be playing these 3 chords. The first chord is for a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we've got half bar changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so to get my guitar tone, I have got Primo. If you haven't checked out Primo, there's a link down in the description to a review I've just done of this, and I think it's an amazing app that you can get for free, so definitely go and check that out. But I'm just using the default sound actually, just a nice clean, straight in sound. But I wanted to add some space and some atmosphere, so I've been checking out this plugin from Eventide. This is called Black Hole, and it's a really dreamy, atmospheric reverb. And again, I've just gone for the default setting that just came straight with the reverb. I thought it sounded so good. I'll show you what it sounds like. Really dreamy, really atmospheric, almost pad-like. So that's layer 1. For bass tones, I'm using another really cool plugin. This is PD Space Guitar 2, and I'm just using a preset called Freebase Big Whopper, and I'm just playing a little line that uses an open E, F sharp, B, and G sharp. And it goes like this. So that's the bass layer. We've then got this quite cool lead guitar part that goes like this. Again, it's got a full bar of the first position, so that's the 12th fret on the B string, and at the same time, 16th fret on the high E, a bit of a stretch. We're going to be playing a bar and a half, and we're counting it as quavers, so it'll be something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then on 3, we're swapping to the 11th fret on the B string and the 14th fret on the high E, and we're going to play this for the last 4 quavers, so 3 and 4 and, if I put that together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the sound on this one, again, I'm just using Primo, and I'm using a preset called Dynamic Overdrive. I then decided just to add some low end on the guitar, so I'm putting in some power chords. I'm just playing an E5, which is an open E string, 2nd fret on the A, and then playing a G sharp 5, so 4th fret along this bottom string here, and 6th fret on the A string played together, and that same position drop down to 2 and 4, which is F sharp. And we're just again doing one full bar of E5, half of a bar G sharp, and half a bar of F sharp, like this. And I'm palm muting the whole thing. You'll also notice that for these channels I have panned some things around. So if we go back and have a listen to the chords at the start, they're central, so no panning. Once we get to the riff, you should feel that panned to the right hand side, and then when we're going to go to the power chords, you should hear we're over on the left hand side, just to try and spread that mix a little bit so it doesn't get too cluttered. If you want access to any of my Loopy Pro templates, or you want to keep up to date with the different things I'm going to be coming out with, there's a link down in the description below where you can download my templates for free. After I've layered up my 4 main sounds, that's 1 bass, 3 guitar, there will then be the lead guitar, which is obviously a little bit louder. Again, this is another Primo amp. I've gone for the default sound, but I've gone for channel 2. I've dialed back the treble, given it a little bit more middle, and then I want to add a little bit more atmosphere. So again, I'm trying to use as many instances of this black hole to try and get used to it. And this is a Brian Churlow preset called Help My Horns, and it's only a little bit in the background there, just to give it a little bit of space. Over to the vocal layer, I've got a clip here with the microphone on it that auto overdubs, and I've gone for 2 harmonies. The first harmony is going to be singing a G sharp and an F sharp on top of the chords. And again, copying the pattern of the chords, where we're going to sing a full bar of G sharp, a further 2 beats of G sharp, and then drop into F sharp. The second harmony is going to be B and B flat, or I should say B and A sharp, and that's going to be To make these sound even dreamier, again I've used another instance of the Eventide black hole, and this is a snappy snare preset. Obviously not designed for this, but if I put it on now, obviously it'll affect my voice. 1, 2. You can see it just adds a real cool characteristic to those vocals. And then after that, it just switches to my stock vocal mic chain, which has got a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, and that kind of stuff. But the real secret sauce in doing all of this is follow actions. So what I've got going on in the mixer, you can see I've got different channels. Now what I've done is I've created an input. So if I press plus, you can add a hardware input, and input 3 is where my guitar is going. I've done that about 5 times, and on each of those channels I've decided to put my plugins that I wanted. So for example, on my chords I've got a Primo amp and an Evertide Black Hole. On some of the other channels I've just got the Primo, and I've got a mixture of the different ones, but I don't want them all on at once. What the follow actions allow you to do, if you let me try and demonstrate, is after I have recorded this first clip on the left here, this orange clip, I've set up a follow action to mute one channel, which is my clean chords, and then unmute the next channel, which is going to be my next clip. So for example, if I press play, there's our drum loop that we recorded earlier. I'm just going to record the chords in 1, 2, 3, 4. And once that's finished, if I now play the guitar, it should have unmuted the bass sound. So let's record that bass in now. 2, 3, 4. We now have the bass recorded. It should have unmuted now my higher riff part. It's just a little sound on the right hand side of your headphones. Let's record that in as well. So now that will unmute the power chords. And you get the idea. It's incredible. Loopy Pro is incredible. It's an amazing app. And that's the power of follow actions. You can literally configure Loopy Pro to do some incredible wild stuff. And this is still quite a basic example of what you can do. So just to quickly show you how I've gone about doing that, if I swipe up on one of my clips, swipe down to the bottom, I can click follow actions. And then under finish record, I've added a mute/unmute audio source, and then you select your target. So I'll just do that one time to show you what I did. So I click the plus icon on finish record because I want it to happen when the loop finishes recording. I'm going to go down to audio sources because all of my mics and guitars are audio sources, and the mute/unmute audio source is what you select. You then click the target and you can see these different options that I've got. So for example, I've named them bass, riff, power chords. So I could get it to mute the bass and then unmute something else. You need it to do 2 of those actions. I'll just delete the one I just added in. So in this instance, it mutes the chords, which are those pad-like chords, and unmutes the bass so I can get on with recording the bass. And what I really, really like about this system is if you're a bit conscious about looping live, where you make the audience wait around for you to build a loop for 5 minutes before you get the song going, which is something I'm still working really hard on trying to figure out, because I think that's one of the major downsides to doing live looping as opposed to playing with a band. It allows you to keep things fresh, keep things moving, but it does mean you have to think this through. You have to decide what you're going to do ahead of time, which doesn't suit everybody. And most of the time when I do gigs, I end up defaulting to my typical template. But I just wanted to see what was possible with follow actions, so hopefully this gives you a little idea of some stuff that you can do. If you're new to Loopy Pro or consider buying the app, then down in the description below I've got a link that can get you 10% off. It's an amazing app. The developers deserve all of the praise that they're getting, and it's literally what I've built this entire channel around, so do go check the app out. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this and you found it useful. Please let me know down in the comments if this type of content where I am trying to teach you how to loop and build different songs is something you want to see more of. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what direction to take this channel at the moment, so any feedback would be super helpful. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hit that like button, as it helps me out a lot. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.